I was always keen to have these Drax biomass wagons from Hornby, so once I saw a new batch being made available, I really had to have a go at them and check them out. I had previously purchased the biomass wagons from Accurascale, which were based off an aggregate hopper. So these are a different wagon type, and they come with the quite attractive liveries that you see on them, quite attractive printed liveries. So having got these from Hornby now, it's time to take a closer look. We'll kick off with the usual unboxing, which will be pretty short for a wagon type like this, and then we'll follow that up with the close-up views. We'll also do a quick close-up comparison with the Accurascale Biomass wagon from 3 years ago, just to show you the differences between the two of them. It is based on a different wagon type, so they are fundamentally different in that way. Then we'll get into our running session. It'll be a brief running session just focused on these wagons, and then we'll get into our summary, scoring, and final recommendation. Okay, let's get underway. Okay, so this is a 2-pack from Hornby, and they've got it's this Drax Biomass wagons, which I've been interested in getting hold of. It's kind of very interesting looking livery, so we'll see it in a minute. And it comes in a 2-pack, and I've got 4 of these to give me a rake of 8, a decent rake of 8. So so this is the R60177A, and there's it's a pack of 2, so you get 2 of them with the same code, so they come together in the one. Again, a good idea, I think, taking them like this. So we're going to open this guy up. First view, it looks actually quite impressive, particularly for the price point, because you are getting 2 of these for your money. Okay, so let's just get this guy out. Said it's quite an interesting livery. But there's more than a livery going on here, so I think that'll be nice to look at it. So we've got our little accessories. Yeah, just some basic pipe work, as you might expect. And let's get this guy out. So, not the heaviest wagon in the world. I guess it's quite a little bit light. But what's interesting about it is you can see right through there, right? So, and you can see right through on the far side as well, and you've got all kind of a level of detail in there, and you have that on both sides. Okay, it's kind of interesting. Haven't seen these wagons before, so this is kind of new to me. I'll say they're not that heavy. They're not that heavy. So the load, provided the running performance is good, the load factor shouldn't be too bad on your locomotive, because they're pretty light. So it's a nice looking wagon. The livery is done very well. It's crisp. We'll see it in the close-ups. The letter is very readable. So it's actually very good, very nice. And you've got the added detail as well. So overall, a nice implementation. I think given the price point isn't breaking the bank for 2 of these, this actually could be quite a good value wagon, put it that way. I certainly value a wagon, I think, that's going to be popular. So I think if you invest in some of these, I think they're going to hold their value. You know, they're metal. The buffers are metal, but they're not sprung. They are metal. I can feel cold on my hands there. That's a metal piece at the end. I can feel the cold metal. So that's, again, nice overall detail. We'll look at it in our close-ups. 2 per pack, and it looks like a very nice wagon from Hornby. I'd say one of the best wagons Hornby have produced in a while. Just on a first glance, we'll make the final assessment obviously when we complete the review, but a good start. Okay, let's take a close-up look, and looking forward to getting these get a full train of these on the track. We'll have 8 of them, so we'll see what they look like. Okay, so we're going to take a look through our close-up views and taking a side-on view of the wagon here.
So you can see the level of detail that we have, both the kind of physical detail in there in that gap in the wagon, and also the detail in the printed areas as well. And the printing is pretty clean, as you can see. It's not a bad looking wagon at all. You've got those metal buffers at one end, and you can see the wheels. Bogies are relatively simple, nothing overly elaborate. You can see the kind of cable work going underneath there, the various levers. Again, you've got the printed artwork on the side there and the lettering, which is all very readable, as you can see, and it's pretty clean. I was quite happy with the standard of this wagon from a visual perspective. I do think it hits the mark, and there is unique artwork across the wagons, so they're not all the same. So they do have different aspects of artwork on the different wagon numbers, I should say. So here we go, getting a top level view, and here we go. We can see the two different designs that we have on each of these. And I guess this kind of gives not only is it quite a spectacular looking wagon, but you've now got this different artwork across different wagons in the series. And I think that makes them quite interesting, and why people will probably like to have these on their layout. Again, you can see the end detail there, which again is quite fine. And there's not, I wouldn't say huge underbody detail, but it's certainly adequate, or more than adequate for these. And, they do look good. And if you've got a rake of 8 or 12 or whatever of these, and I think that looks quite good. You are going to be missing the unique running numbers, as I said, because you've only got 4 different running numbers to play with. So they didn't provide any additional sets. So that is a bit of a gap. I know some people would like to have unique running numbers for all the cars, but that just won't be possible here. So we're going to take a view now comparing this between the biomass wagon from Accurascale from 3 years ago, which was based on a hopper, a coal hopper or aggregate hopper. So it's a different wagon type, as you can see, and it's narrower, it's slightly narrower. And this Hornby wagon, it's modelling a different wagon type fundamentally that is wider, as you can see on the pictures there. So they are quite different. One is a modified hopper, the other is a dedicated biomass wagon. Okay, so we're going to get into the running session now. You may have already seen this if you've seen the Class 60 running session, but we're just going to focus on the wagons in this one because, again, you want to see the different artworks that are on them. You'll kind of see them as they pass through there, so keep an eye out for that. So you can see the kind of differing artworks there as the wagons go past. There's only a certain number of designs, so it is quite limited. As I say, it's not going to be something drastically different, but it's enough to give a nice variety and have different wagons with different artwork. They run pretty smoothly, though the running resistance is a bit higher than I would have hoped for. They are a very light wagon, so I would have been hoping for something closer to an ICA wagon, which is best in class really in terms of running performance. They're not that good, unfortunately. They're not to that same level. But overall, I didn't have any issues. I had one derailment at top speed, but as I said, that was mitigated by the fact that layout was just coming back into service after some work being done in the rooms. There could have been dust on the track or anything like that, a piece of debris or material. They seem fine. An attractive looking wagon, which makes a very attractive rake and a very contemporary looking rake. And I guess that's the key thing, or will be the key thing for many modelers. Okay, let's get into the summary. So we've been looking at the Hornby Drax dual bogie biomass wagons, and they come in two-pack offerings, the 60176A and the 60177A. So you get 2 of these wagons per pack with unique running numbers. Now, that's probably not going to give you a full rake. You would really need at least 4 different packs to do that, which would give you a rake of 8. So that probably is a little bit of a gap. Minimum radius 2 curves, no issues there, and they probably would survive on radius 1, though it could be a little bit tight at the coupler end. They have NEM pockets with tension lock couplers pre-fitted. I didn't try them out with the magnetic couplers. Now, they don't have a kinematic coupling mechanism. They have the kind of older style, kind of flexible coupling mechanism, which isn't as good. So they may not work as well with magnetic couplers, but that's up for, you can probably check that out on your own layout. If you've got bigger radius curves, then it obviously will help. The features, they come with very highly detailed printed liveries and with, really a very good colour rendition and good level of detail, so that they do register well. Overall, they've got metal buffers. They're fixed buffers. They're not sprung buffers, but they look fine. And they come with a minimalistic detailing kit just with some pipe work. These are Era 11 to the present day, so they're very much for the modern modeler. they will look very good on a present day layout if that's what you're running. The top scale speed I tested them at was the top scale speed of the class 60, which is 65 miles per hour. Now, on the first run, I did get a derailing at the very high speed. Now, but my layout at that point in time had just been kind of brought back into service after some work being done in the room. So there could have been dust on the track, other things like that. I'm not going to really put that against it from a scoring perspective. However, these are quite light wagons, 112 grams, as you can see there. And the running resistance is relatively high for that weight. So they're not going to be the most stable wagon on the track because of that. I would much prefer that a lower running resistance would really help, and a bit more weight. So that would give a better feel for running at higher speeds. But I guess they are prototypical. If you're going to run them behind a class 60, you're probably fine at that kind of 60, 65 miles per hour range, prototypical speed. The selling price is $87.99, the recommended retail price from Hornby, and you'll typically see them discounted around the £79.50 level. So that's what you can expect to get them. As they sell out, probably be harder to get them at the discounted price. You'll probably be paying the full price for them. I'd say once they sell out totally, they will be selling for something higher on eBay if it comes to that. So let's look at the weighted scoring. So the running performance, as I said, was a little bit less than I would have hoped for. And the weight and the running resistance are the two contributory factors to that. So they're not the smoothest running wagons in the world. Like, they're not like a Dapol ICA wagon, for example, would be much smoother than these, infinitely smoother. And at probably an equivalent weight level of those wagons, are probably even lighter. So it does affect the pulling power, and as I said, the ultimate speed that you can run these things at. But it's more if you had a low power locomotive pulling these up an incline, then that's where you're probably going to see this becoming an issue. Appearance and detail overall is very good. So I am giving it a 9 out of 10 because I think it does hit the mark in terms of these particular wagons. Now, there are some aspects there was a bit of cracking or leakage on the paintwork on one or two of the wagons, so I've reflected that in the build quality score. But overall, very good, and they do look good, right? So these do look very good on their layout. Extras and variants, it is missing those extra running numbers, I guess, and there isn't anything like a tail lamp for the last wagon or anything like that. You'd have to add that yourself, overlay that yourself in some way and get the power to it. So I'm giving it 7 for the extras and variants. Packaging and documentation is basic but adequate for sure, because these aren't very heavy wagons. They don't need huge amounts of protection. It's just the standard packaging you get from Hornby for a coach, for example, or any other wagon of this Bogied wagon of this type. So it's 8.5. It's fine. I mean, there's not an issue. Price value then as well is 8.5. These are slightly more expensive than the biomass wagons from Accurascale that we had a few years ago. But I guess we are 3 years on, and these wouldn't be to the same quality, I would say, as those Accurascale wagons. They were heavier wagons, and they overall were better quality, I would say. But these, for the price and for what you get, I think these are still pretty good value. So 8.5, I think, is a reasonable score. So overall, we're getting an 8.3, which is a decent score for a wagon like this. And I guess the main letdown is the running performance. If they did have a little bit more weight and they had a smoother running performance, that would have boosted the score by maybe another 0.2, 0.3. For example, it could have done, because the running performance is weighted as well. It's one of the preferentially rated scores. So, but still, I think 8.3 is very, very good. So in terms of my final recommendation, I think these wagons are definitely up there with the best freight wagons Hornby have ever produced. I definitely think so, because they really are standout wagons from that perspective. My main gripe is the lightweight, as I mentioned, and the running resistance, which is higher than expected. The better build quality on the Accurascale Biomass wagons, but they were based on a different wagon type. They were based on a modified hopper, and these are different, as we saw earlier with the comparison photograph. So I think these wagons look really great on your layout, and if you are into the contemporary era, they're really going to look spot on. A rake of 8 of these or whatever, like I had in the running session, just looks really good. It looks very modern, and I think if you like that kind of livery, then it's going to be very appealing to you. So definitely a nice addition to the layout, and they do come highly recommended. And I think if you can get them at around that £80 mark, I think that's pretty good value. You're paying £40 per wagon. I think that's reasonable. It's not exceptional, but it's more than reasonable. And I think these wagons probably will be in demand in years to come. I think they're already sold out at Hornby, and I think they're selling out very quickly with the retailers as well. So these, it's justifiable that they will be very popular, I think. And so I think if you are interested in them, you're better off moving on them sooner rather than later, because they will be a lot more expensive on eBay. So that's my review of the Drax biomass wagons from Hornby. Please let us know your feedback in the comments. If you've got these wagons, if you've been running them, what sort of rakes have you been running them as? How have you found them? Have you found any issues with them? We'd definitely love to know in the comments, and what your thoughts are on those. That would be great. The next video I'm going to be doing is with the Class 89. I've got a running session to come out on that, and then a review. And I've had that in the track now for a few days, been working with it. So I'm looking forward to getting those videos out and reviewing that particular model. It's an expensive model. It's not a cheap model, but it is quite a nice model. And looking forward, as I said, to getting the running session and the review out for that. So expect that in the next week or so. All right. Okay, that's it. Thanks for joining today. Please leave your feedback and comments, and I will hopefully see you on the next one. And in the meantime, take care and happy modelling.